Hey guys, welcome to Daddicated. In this video, I want to show you how to fix a flat tire on your kid's bike. This bike was given to my wife for free and there's nothing wrong with it other than the flat tire. So I bought a new inner tube and I'm going to show you how to replace it. If you're new to this channel, I do videos for dads like how-tos and tutorials and reviews, so feel free to subscribe. Let's begin. So first, you're gonna go ahead and flip the bike upside down. Then you're gonna take a Phillips head screwdriver and unscrew this bolt, so that way we can remove this cover, because we're gonna need to take off the tire and remove this chain. So before I can unscrew this, I'm gonna remove this. Move it out of the way. Then take a 9/16 socket wrench and we're going to remove this bolt and the bolt on the other side. Looks like the bolt wasn't tight, so it came right off. This is a nut that holds the training wheels, so we're going to have to remove this nut as well. So for this bolt, I'm going to use 11/16 and I'm going to use a deep socket so I can actually get it off. And you don't have to fully remove it, just enough to where you can slide off the wheel. Do it on the other side. Now on my bicycle, I also have this thing, which looks like it's a square fitting that I need to take off. If you don't have it, then you would slide this off, but I'm gonna need to take that off first. If you know what this is for, leave in the comments below, because I'm not really sure what's the purpose of this little guy. So next, you want to slide the wheel this way, so that way you can take off the chain now that it's not tightened, and then you can wiggle your wheel out like that. Next, you want to take off this cap, because when we're going to take the inner tube off, so that way it's not in the way and you're not going to break it, because this is going to have to come off that way. In the next step, you basically have to take your screwdriver and kind of pry out the tube like this, trying to pry this guy on the outside like this. You do the same thing on the other side and you kind of pry it over. There we go. And then just remove the old inner tube. Now we're going to take this new inner tube and open it. Now make sure you buy the right size. So mine is 12.5-inch diameter. There's obviously different bike sizes. There's 14, 16, and bigger. So depending on the size you're doing, make sure you have the proper. I bought mine on Amazon. It was fairly cheap. Came here in 2 days. I didn't have to go in the store searching for it. So it was more convenient for me to do that. But usually your local hardware store or like Walmart sells them as well. Here's what it looks like. Now make sure you remove this cap as well before installing it, and basically follow the same process of installing it. So before installing the inner tube, you want to put the one side of the wheel back into the outer tire, just like that. So like this, and then find that hole, and we're gonna try to put the inner tube inside. So it's much easier to do this on a tabletop or something higher than doing it on the floor. Basically feed this through into the inner tube, but make sure that this guy aligns up with your hole, this hole, while you're feeding it in there. Try to make sure that it's not tangled when it's gonna go in there. That way you don't ruin it when you're pumping it up. Kind of try to hide it behind this rim. Now you see that it's all in there. Kind of hard to see like this. And now we're gonna put this past the rim. Again, just start with one side and then work your way around, and then use a screwdriver to kind of push it in like that. There we go. So inflate the tire using a pump or an air compressor to about maximum of 35 psi. Just do it slowly and check. I mean, it's for the kids. It doesn't really have to be a lot. As you can see, it's holding air pretty good. Put the cap back on, and then you're ready to install the tire back onto the bike. Okay, when putting the tire on, make sure that this chain is still intact with this sprocket. It'll make it easier. And then you take basically the tire, put it into the groove, then push it all the way in while carefully holding the chain, and then put it on this sprocket, and make sure that the chain off this sprocket doesn't fall off, and then pull it back and tighten it. Now hand tighten these for now. You gotta be careful when you're tightening these that the wheel is not positioned like this, because your alignment of the wheel is gonna be wrong. So you wanna make sure it's in the center line of your frame and tighten these up. One more thing to be careful for is if you keep the tire too close, you're gonna have interference with the frame here. So you gotta make sure you have good enough tension to where there's room here between the frame and the tire. And I think this helps you with that alignment, because once you clamp this up, I think it keeps it more centered, but I'm not sure. So I'm gonna put this back. So after you tighten the bolts, you want to make sure you check for alignment by spinning the wheel. This wheel's probably been damaged since it's a used bike, so it's not as great as I wanted to, but after playing with it, that's the best I can do. So we're gonna screw this piece back in here. You can put these back, but if you don't need training wheels, you don't have to. These are for the training wheels. So I am gonna put the training wheels and have my daughter test it out tomorrow. And for the test trial, looks good. Thank you guys for watching another episode of Dad Basics. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new to this channel, and I'll see you next time.